Hello, I'm Nick. I have some bad news for you. I'm a toy collector. So I collect toys, and I figured in order to get more enjoyment out of the hobby, I'm gonna start making toy content. Does that sound good? Probably not. No long-winded explanation of who I am. I look like this. I feel like this. I talk mad this. And without further ado, let's rip off Thew. So, let's think back to a simpler time. No, simpler than that. Before all that. Keep going. Okay, right about here. This is probably when reality was at its peak, I would imagine. This happened.
Oh no.
And then for a long time, nothing happened after that. Hasbro came out and said that they're going to be releasing more G1 classics. And of course, to go hand in hand with that, we're also getting fossil robot people. Yeah. And here is our first foray into Fossilizers. This is Paleotrex. Kinda love him. Fantastic little dinosaur boy. Does exactly what it says he does on the box. He's just a nice little fossil man. But what does he transform into? Surely something as cool as this has to be rad as hell, right? The opposite, in fact. Spindly in all the wrong places and thick in all the right ones, but still lesser than the sum of his parts. Not a great figure by any means, but I love him, and I'll tell you why. It's free real estate. No, it's, he combines. Well, no, I guess he doesn't really combine. He reformats himself. You see, every piece on him is its own individual thing. What does that even mean? Those are just stupid words you've said, Nick. Okay, true, you got me there. But all of these pieces come apart and can be fitted into each other in different configurations. Look, it's much better now. All joking aside, this is a complete game changer. Now, it's inherently whatever Transformers isn't. It's a robot, sure. Is it in disguise? No. Is he cool? No. Does he transform? Technically, he is a parts former in which you actually have to pull apart the entire figure to change from this into this and vice versa. And that's kind of antithetical to what Transformers are. I mean, even in the community, parts forming is largely looked down upon as the easy way out. But it doesn't hold him back. And it doesn't hold his friends back. Because you could do this. And you could do this. And here's another thing you can do. And look at all these great things you can do with just a few of these guys. I think this is the first time they've introduced new characters into Generations. But I could be wrong, I've only been collecting since Thrilling 30. If you don't know what Generations are, there is essentially 3-ish levels of Transformer here. At the top, you have Masterpiece. What Masterpiece is you know, large, well-engineered toys for the grown-up collector. Also a little hard to get at some points. Down here somewhere is where you have the animated toy line and, you know, some of the other smaller Cyberverse things. And this here and this here doesn't really, that's not my bag. Right here, though, this is the Generations toy line, in which it's still a toy. It is an action figure marketed to children. Don't get me wrong, it absolutely is. But it's cool for me to buy it. Make sure you like and subscribe so I can get to this tier, yeah? And I think Paleotrex has everything going for him that you could possibly want in a what's considered cool. He's made out of bone, he looks like a dinosaur, undeniably. But if you get in very close, you can see that there's more than your eye would be met with. He's just a loosely held together bundle of shapes, and I mean, I guess aren't we all? You can clearly see that, you know, there's just a foot coming off of that thigh. You have a head that's barely concealed by a larger head. Same. Stiff tail, no articulation aside from the old waggle. He's got some charm to him, you know, and it's fine. It's perfectly serviceable action figure that'll look fine getting dusty on a shelf. And that's what they all do. You have his alt form, his robot mode, that looks somewhat like, you know, what I would imagine a paralysis demon would look like. He's not a very cool looking figure. He has all the right beats that I would think would be cool. Like, he definitely looks like the front of a metal album cover. He's made out of bone, clearly not in a good mood. His face is a spiky skull with a smaller sneering face inside of it. If you raise the visor, it just looks like he's screaming. You can do all kinds of cool shit with it. And by cool, I mean this. Aww. Despite all the shit that I'm gonna give this little guy, he's still great. And we'll come back to that later. He's better with friends. Hasbro's thirst for bone not being satisfied with one release, they came out with another, Ractonite. They came out of the gate swinging, completely avoiding the sophomore slump with Ractonite here. He's just a nice little triceratops, and he's thick and chunky, and just looking at him just makes the brain do the feel-good chemicals. You know, when that happens once every, you know, few weeks, it's pretty dope when that's good. It's good, right? This content, you like that? Just looking at him exudes power. He's squat, he's strong, but I'm hesitant about transforming him because I saw how Ractonite went. He was absolutely dope as hell as a T-Rex. Then when he transformed, he just gave up. This doesn't have that problem. Ractonite looks straight up like a battle dwarf, and I mean that in the most positive of ways. He's got his Battle for Dazar Allure armor on, and he's just a squat, chunky man who's here to fight you. He's got these thick little legs and his big barreled tummy, and really the weakest part about him are his like stupid little arms. I mean, that's just his foot on backwards. There's no denying that. But he's cool. And I'm not saying you can't be spindly and not be cool. I mean, look at Black Arachnia. She's sick as hell. This looks like a fan mode that's not really that well thought out. Someone cared about this. Now, Ractonite may be the cream of the crop, but there is a third fossilizer that came out. Wingfinger. Now, this is the first pterodactyl in the bunch, and it's hard to pull off a pterodactyl, I think. They did such a good job with Ractonite here that I have utmost faith in Hasbro. A bit of a mixed bag on this one, actually. I think its dinosaur form is as close to perfect as you can get. I mean, it's a pterodactyl. It's not going to have actual wings. That is its wing. The meat's gone. It's okay. That's fine. Wingfinger isn't a terribly good name for it. Hey guys, I found this on the internet, and it's not technically a useless fact if I'm applying it to something, right? Pterodactyl literally means wing finger, I guess, when you translate those root words. So, I mean, maybe just take this as a lesson as to not being overly critical of everything that doesn't exactly rub you the right way. You might not know all the facts. So there's that. It doesn't make the name any better, to be honest, but it is certainly not a worse name than my suggestion. So just gotta take it in stride. Okay, back to me. Goodbye. Now I see what they're going for. It's got wings and it's got things, but why not something cooler? You got Paleotrex, you got Ractonite. Why not like Ossuary Glide? I don't know. I don't work for Hasbro yet. Its dinosaur mode is just on point. It has so much detail in just the chest, and you can see the reverse shoulder blade bone thing they got going on, and just everything about it's just in this one specific mode. I need to be very clear here. This is fantastic. The next part, not so much. Also, I just wanted to point out that it looks like the guy from Beetlejuice. So with such a strong form here, can only get better, right? They learned from Ractonite. They learned what not to do with Paleotrex, and they're gonna fix it right here. Oh, honey, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. If you were to skin Pyramid Head and bring him down to just his bones and base parts, it would probably look a little bit like this. Its head isn't really discernible. It's got a face under that visor, but it doesn't really do much. It just looks like it's cracking a joke. It's lanky. It's a lanky, spindly thing. Much worse than how Paleotrex came out. At least his pieces have a little bit of chunk to him. He's, he can reach out and grab you with his one horrible Bandersnatch arm. This one's got these cool assassin blades and these like really stunning high heels and just a big bird's head on the back of it. But just, it doesn't exude any kind of pattern. Neither does this. This is not a Ractonite situation. It's just, this isn't good. But it's not like I'm going to display these in these forms anyways. I'm going to display them in their dinosaur forms. And I think that's fair. But the main draw of these things is that you can pull them all apart and you can mash them together. Any horrible nightmare that your little brain can dream up with, it could probably do it. Like this guy. Or one of these. Why don't you try this one on for size? Ooh, that's a bad one. Yuck, this is horrible. Or you could even buy a whole bunch of Paleotrexes like I did and mash them together and make some kind of horrible skittering explosion head monster. There's really no limit to these things, and I haven't experienced this really in Transformers of all things. This should have been its own toy line. This is fantastic. It's like when you put chocolate and peanut butter together. It's something new. It's something better. The scary thing about them is that they're one of the few Transformers that, aside from troop building, there is a benefit to having multiple of them. Mash them together and form all kinds of stuff like this. I've been showing these throughout the video, and I can't get enough of them. At the end of the day, I think someone at Hasbro is just obsessed with dinosaurs. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think dinosaurs are cool as hell. And now we got a few of them coming out in alternate colors, like Ractonite's getting one with blast effects, and Megatron is getting a Netflix Walmart release in which he has Paleotrex, but in clear purple. Well, Hasbro, it's gonna take more than just a purple dinosaur to make me want to buy it. Okay, well, you got me on that one. But it's gonna take more than it just being a T-Rex for me to buy it. Okay, well, it's gonna take more than just being a T-Rex and a recolor of a T-Rex for me to buy it. Son of a bitch. And there you have it. I think the fossilizers that have come out have been one of the best steps Hasbro's taken in just extending the longevity of the toy line. It's cool to constantly get updates of characters, but I think I have a little fatigue for War for Cybertron after buying everyone's Cybertronian version and then their Earth version, just a few months later. That's no one's fault but mine, because I collect mostly Earth versions. And these fossilizers, I guess, play into the Beast Wars story. I haven't seen the Transformers Netflix series Kingdom to know what's going on yet. And that's fine, because my focal point of Transformers is generally Generation 1 and Beast Wars. I don't have to conflate those two things. I know they're in the same universe, but she's not going on the same part of the shelf that Grimlock's going on. This can be its own entirely different thing, and I love that. I am so over the moon with these fossilizers that I hope they keep making more of them. I hope we keep getting more things like these with the modular Transformers. Because I think with G1 we have everything now, right? We got the good Starscream, we got a fantastic Optimus Prime, we got Huffer and Pipes, we got everyone. I guess Megatron could be a little bit better now, but I'll be damned if I don't think that this is just a fantastic delight. I love these toys. And that's all I have for you this time. If you'd like to see more, please like, comment, subscribe. Is there something that you want me to talk about? Do you want my opinion on anything? Big thank you to everyone on the screen here who's shown their support for me. This took a significant amount of time out of my day where I don't really have that much free time, but I had a lot of fun with this, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun editing it. What's something you want me to talk about? It's not all dinosaurs, but it's all Transformers, right? You have a good one, guys.